All right, give it up for the CSL Dallas music team. Welcome, everybody, to CSL Dallas, and we want to say thank you to those of you who are joining us online, wherever you are in the world today. We also want to thank you for joining us here on campus. I want to remind you that every day is a day for transformation, spiritual deepening, and heart connections, no matter what's going on. And every day we learn and practice something different that makes a difference. We also want to say thank you and let you know that we have a treat in our guest speaker today, Dr. Patrick Harbula. Give a hand for him. At this time, no further delay, join in applause as we welcome in the sounds of the CSL Dallas music team.
This is a sing-along, just in case you're wondering. Hey, hey, take a look at the person next to you.
Take a look at the person next to you.
Say, I recognize the love in you.
I recognize the love in you.
Feel the love in the sanctuary.
Feel the love in the sanctuary.
Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together.
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 In the name of love. We come together.
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 In the name of love. Oh yeah. Come on, girl.
Take a look at the person next to you.
Take a look at the person
you. Namaste, I bow to you.
Namaste, I bow to you.
Feel the love in the sanctuary.
Feel the love in the sanctuary.
Lift your voice and repeat after me.
We come together.
We come together.
We come together.
We come together.
We come together in the name of love.
We come together.
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 We come together in the name of love.
We come together.
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 We come together in the name of love.
We come together. We come together.
We come together.
We come together.
Come together in the name of love.
Ooh, we be coming together. My name's Deirdre Tinker, and the official Joe Tinker is not with us today, so ta-da! Yeah, y'all are just gonna like lift me up in the sanctuary, right? Thank you, that'd be lovely. It says here that I am to read our purpose statement together. There it is. So, shall we begin? We are radically inclusive, spiritually progressive, transforming lives. Amen, and so it is. So, it's been all about emergence, and hosts for the home study groups have emerged. So now it's time for you to emerge and become a member of one of these groups. So each spring, CSL Dallas launches our annual Step Out in Faith program. And it's an opportunity to learn in a small group setting, build relationships with fellow community members, and most importantly, you know that little emerge thing that happens up here sometimes? To grow your garden of life. Okay. This program runs for 6 weeks from March 5th to April 9th. And to join a group, first you review the different groups and their times. And this is being offered in person and for those of you who are online. You sign up on paper in Pankey Hall or via the link, which is in the chat. It's posted in the chat box. Additionally, if you have any questions about joining a home study group, you can reach out to the Raise and Praise person of the year, of the decades, Reverend Patty. And that is at, there she is, yay. And she's right back there raising and praising. It's Reverend Patty at csldallas.org. Now, practitioner Carol Merlot is gearing up to teach another amazing Science of Mind course starting February 27th. It's called Journey of the Soul. This too can be done in person and online, and it is a course that helps us open our eyes to seeing the divine within ourselves and the oneness of our life experience. But the author of the book, Reverend Dr. Patrick Harbula, who also, we'll let him, there's a surprise. We got a surprise coming on. And he'll be making a special appearance. This is the perfect time to take this course. You can sign up at csldallas.org/education. And perhaps you have heard about meditation. I need that quite often because I am bouncing off the walls. But if you don't know about meditation or how to meditate, you can start a practice here. Here's how you can do that. There's a meditation immersive course on March 10th and 11th, and it's a time for guidance, experimentation, and practice. It will be held here with Dr. Petra Weldes and practitioner Sherry Wood and Christine Volkmer. You can wave, it's good, you're famous. You know what, they were so into themselves, they were kind of meditating at this moment, but I just brought them out. Thank you. They were zapping me, thank you. For those of you who are interested in this inward journey, the course counts as a level 2 consciousness course. Again, sign up online under the education tab on your website if you'd like to do it online. Okay. We obviously love the way that we can all connect through all the various platforms, and we love being in touch with you. So you can follow us on your favorite social media site. You can subscribe through the YouTube channel or leave a Google review. Ding, ding, ding. If you are getting our emails, make sure to check your junk or spam folder. And if you are new to CSL Dallas, welcome. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Please fill out the Connect card from the chat online box or on the welcome table in person, which is over here, right outside those doors, to stay connected to all that is happening at CSL Dallas. And however you found us today, we truly are glad you're here. Thank you. And now we're going to settle ourselves. And we're going to have the music team and the practitioners as we go within. Thank you.
Flow, Spirit, flow through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding peace. Spirit, show through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding love. Flow, Spirit, flow through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding peace. Spirit, show through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding love. Let's take a moment and go within. There is a power and presence that moves through us, as us, in us, that is the living spirit of divine inspiration and love and peace. It is ours to stop and remember, to pause, to feel that unfolding of the heart of our very being. As we move through our day, our community, our family and friends, experiencing the trust and the faith that is present in the One, that is present in God. Spirit moves through us as we open to that unfolding. We are that peace. We are that love. It is ours. We claim it. We know it right here, right now. We rest in that knowing, and so it is. Spirit, flow through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding peace. Spirit, show through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding love, your unfolding love, your unfolding love.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you, please, to Reverend Kit Holmes. And would you give her a round of applause? And I'm going to tell you who she is. All right. Reverend Kit is a licensed CSL minister based in Austin. Yeah, come on. She is writing and has been writing, performing, and traveling New Thought music ever since 2004. She will be here with us all week through Vista, and in a minute, she's going to shake you up real good. So I figured we'd just better go on and get this introduction out the way right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Reverend Kit, go on, girl.
Thank you so much. Do they stand? I think they stand for this. Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Of
Get
course.
up. Get up.
Come on, get up. I'm going to teach you a new song this morning. It is so very easy. You're going to hear it after this very first verse. It is just so easy. And if you get caught up in the rest of the words, just hit the first word of the verse. It's easy. And we're going to start with love. How easy is that? All right, let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And yes, you can put your hands together. Yeah. And it goes like this. You ready? Love lives in me. Love moves through me. Love expresses as me. Love lives in me. Love moves through me. Love expresses as me. Easy, huh? All right, y'all ready to do this together? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Love lives in me. Love, all right, moves through me. Love expresses as me. Love lives in me. Love moves through me. Love expresses as me. You sound great. Let's do peace. Peace lives in me. Peace moves through me. Peace expresses as me. Yeah. Peace lives in me. Peace moves through me. Peace expresses as me. All right, we're going for joy. Joy lives in me. Joy moves through me. Joy expresses as me. Yeah. Joy lives in me. Joy moves through me. Joy expresses as me. All right, we're gonna break it down with power. Power lives in me. Power moves through me. Power expresses as me. Power lives in me. Power moves through me. Power expresses as me. Yeah, let's take it back to love. Love lives in me. Love moves through me. Love expresses as me. Expresses as me. Lives in me. Love moves through me. Love expresses as me. As me. As me. Yeah. Yeah.
So much, Kit. And so we have a new community song, yes? Absolutely. All right, so we're going to move into our Black History Month moment. Yes, please. Yes, please. So we have a beautiful song from Candy Williams and our music team. And after that, we will be sharing part 3 of the Black History of Science of Mind.
It's really cool. And you certainly are invited to sing from the heart of Ricky Byers and Marvin Gaye. Love, be encouraged. Love, it'll see you through. Love, be the first to love. Fill your heart with love. Be about it. Love, sing a song about love. Never doubt that. Love, inspirational love is our shelter. Love and always love. Before and after love, love, love gives you courage, fills your heart. It's the best thing, you can't go wrong with, 'cause it's eternal and it cannot be. So stand on up for love, unconditional love is our shelter now and always. Before and after love, love, love gives you courage, it fills your heart. It's the best thing, you can't go wrong, 'cause it's It's eternal and it has no end. So stand on up for love. Inspirational love is our shelter now and always. Love before and after love.
Mother, 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 there's far too many of you crying. Brother, 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 there's far too many of you dying. Oh, we've got to find a way to bring some loving here today. Oh, Father, Father, there's no need to escalate. You see, war is not the answer, 'cause only love can conquer hate. Oh, we've got to find a way to bring some loving here today. Oh, picket lines and picket signs. Don't punish me with brutality. Come on and talk to me, so that we can see, oh, what's going on? What's going on? Yeah, what's going on? I'll tell you what's going on. Father, Father, they might say we're wrong, but who are they to judge us? Just because our faith is strong. Oh, we've got to find a way to bring some loving here today. Oh,
Love gives you courage, fills your heart. It's the best thing, and you can't go wrong with it, 'cause it's eternal and it will not end. So stand on up for love. Inspirational love is your shelter now and always, forever and ever after. Oh, love, it's eternal and it has no end. It's eternal. It has no end. Thank you.
Denise and Deirdre and our beautiful band, Brad, Jonathan, and Matt. Thank you so much. As we carry on with part 3 of Black History of the Science of Mind.
Here's a little known Black history. Science of Mind fact. Some of you might know that Founders Church of Religious Science opened in Los Angeles in 1960. But do you know it was designed by a black man? Ernest Holmes asked Paul Revere Williams Here's a little known Black history science of mind fact. Some of you might know that Founders Church of Religious Science opened in Los Angeles in 1960. But do you know it was designed by a Black man? Ernest Holmes asked Paul Revere Williams, the first African American admitted to the American Institute of Architects, to sketch an idea for the building in 1957. Williams produced a sketch of an elliptical circle, and Holmes liked what he saw. To Holmes, the sketch was the perfect symbol for wholeness, unity, the unending and all-inclusive power of love. Williams designed many landmark buildings in Los Angeles, including the iconic LAX Airport Terminal. He was later named a Fellow by the American Institute of Architects, a high honor for his outstanding achievements. Another science of mind Black history fact also involves Los Angeles and a famous singer.
This God didn't make little green apples, and it don't rain in Indianapolis in the summertime.
You might recognize this song in this deep, sultry singing
There's no
voice.
such thing as Dr. Seuss, no Disneyland. Mother Goose is no nursery rhyme.
1969's best song, Grammy Award winner for Little Green Apples, celebrated vocalist O.C. Smith.
And when myself is feeling low, I think about a face aglow and ease my mind.
The talented Smith experienced several career highs that only the best musical dreams are made of. But even though Little Green Apples hit number 2 on the Billboard charts and sold more than 1 million records, the former vocalist for phenomenal band leader Count Basie knew deep down there was something more. Smith told an interviewer, "After the music success I had, I was still searching for something and didn't know what it was. I kept looking outside of myself, not realizing the reaching is in the soul, not outside." His life gained new purpose in 1980 when he and his wife Robbie Golson discovered Science of Mind. Introduced by Dr. Joseph Murphy of Laguna Beach, Smith finally heard what he had believed for so long: God as a metaphysical entity, one with all, belonging in each of us and uniting us if we wish to see the Almighty. Inspired by the powerful spiritual principles he internalized, Smith even started explaining the metaphysical meanings of songs during his concerts. Profoundly struck by Science of Mind, Smith gave up his music career to study divinity, and in 1985, Dr. O.C. Smith became pastor of the City of Angels Science of Mind Center in Los Angeles.
We must recognize beauty right where we are. That's why Dr. Ernest Holmes said, "There is not a spot where God is not."
He gained a reputation for mixing jazz with storytelling and for being a loving force of financial support to single-parent households, low-income families, and foster children. The church's City of Angels Foundation also provided dozens of scholarships to help students attend colleges across the nation. Dr. O.C. Smith and Paul Revere Williams, Black evolutionaries in Science of Mind.
Thank you, Dr. Petra. Thank you. All right. I want to make sure I got it. Yes, thank you. 1, 2, 3, 1. say you feel like you're dying, dying inside, and you're running out of the things you think you know. Get quiet. Get quiet and be still. Make some room for the answer to come on through. You gotta get quiet. Get quiet and be still, 'cause nothing's gonna change until you turn it over and turn away from the things that are weighing you down. Turn it over, and when you let it go, you'll find things turning around. You're so determined, so determined to be right. You think you gotta have it all under control. But come on, forget your foolish pride that keeps you living so low. Get quiet. Get quiet and be still. The answer is waiting on you to hear. You gotta get quiet. This ain't about forcing your will, your miracle. It's so very near. So turn it over and turn away
Backed up by the beautiful and fabulous Jonathan and Matt. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kit. So you can take Kit home with you. She has her CDs and information out in Pankey Hall as you make your way over for the baked potato lunch in support of Joy Village. Please do pick up some of Kit's music and take it home with you. That was fabulous. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So I do think we're done with the music for the time. Oh, we got to think. Oh, I have no idea what's going on. I should just stick to my script and just be quiet. All right. So it is truly my pleasure to introduce to you our guest speaker, the Reverend Dr. Patrick Harbula. And I've had the pleasure of working with his book and had some conversations with him. As you know, we are having the course, The Journey of the Soul, based on his book, being taught by Carol Merlot coming up in February, for which he is going to make a lovely appearance during that course. So we thought you might like to have a little taste of who he is and what he's doing. Reverend Dr. Patrick Harbula has been a minister, spiritual leader, counselor, and coach for over 35 years, reaches hundreds of thousands with his writing, personal and media experiences. Patrick is the author of The Magic of the Soul, Applying Spiritual Power to Daily Living, which is a fantastic book. It's being used as part of this core curriculum that we are teaching. And his new book, Meditation, The Simple and Practical Way. He is founder of the Living Purpose Institute and creator of the Life Coaching Certification Program and the Primal Fire Intensive. And I saw some information on the table over there where you can pick up both of his books. He was ordained as an independent religious science minister by the late Dr. Earl Barnum in 1985 and affiliated with CSL in 2010. He is also ordained and recognized as a Doctor of Divinity through Spiritual Unity Movement, of which he was the president for 12 years. He trained in spiritual psychology under the late Dr. Vivian King. He founded Meditation Magazine in 1985. It's not like he's been busy or anything. He was formerly a director of Sage Publications, a fabulous world-renowned social science publisher. Patrick is also available after our time together here to sign books. And for those of you who are online, you can hopefully get them through an affiliate link. Otherwise, you can certainly buy them on Amazon. And today, after the workshop, after our celebration and the lunch, of course, he'll be doing a workshop, which you'll hear about in a little bit. But come on up here, Dr. Patrick. He's going to be speaking on non-attachment, non-attachment, the secret to meditation and inner peace. Please welcome Reverend Dr. Patrick Harbula.
How about these guys? Can you hear me okay? Yeah, all right. This place is magical. So glad. Yes, I need the clicker. It works. So, this place is magical. It's been about 12 years, I think, since I've been here. So glad to be back. I'm going to start out with a little story today. I don't usually start out with a story like this, but I just feel really inspired. Because there's so much energy in here, so much love, so much joy. Love, look at this, it's everywhere. All right, so there's these three guys out for a nice Sunday afternoon of golf. And first guy comes up, and you've probably heard about this guy. His name is Moses. So Moses comes up, and he's really focused on his golf game. He's been like, concentrating. So he comes up and he's really taking it seriously, really concentrating, taking a couple very measured practice swings. And finally he lets it go, goes flying out over the fairway. And it's going to land, though, before the trap, this huge lake. And so Moses just walks out calmly, raises his club, the waters part, the ball rolls through, onto the green about 20 feet from the cup. Next guy comes up. Probably heard of this guy too. His name is Jesus. So Jesus comes up, and he's also very, very, very intense about his golf game, and he's taken some practice. He wants to do better than Moses. So he lets it go. It's flying out further than Moses' ball, but it's going to land right in that lake. So he just steps out calmly, raises his hand, and the ball just stops 6 inches from the surface and just hovers there. And he calmly walks out upon the lake, taps the ball onto the green about 10 feet from the cup. Third guy comes up. Not going to tell you his name. So the third guy comes up, and he's the opposite. He's just laughing and joking and having a good time and not even taking it seriously. He takes a one-handed swipe at the ball and just goes slicing way off over, it bounces off the roof of this caddy shack, and it's over the fence onto this freeway. It's bouncing back and forth between cars. It hits a semi and bounces back over the fence, onto the caddy shack, down the roof to the rain gutter, down the rain gutter to the drain pipe, down the drain pipe to the fairway. It's rolling toward that same lake. It bounces off a rock. It lands on a lily pad. A frog grabs it in its mouth. Just then, an eagle swoops down and snatches up the frog. The frog screams out of fright. The ball drops out of his mouth, down into the cup. And Moses turns to Jesus and says, "God, I hate playing with your dad." The moral of the story is, whoever shows up with the most joy and freedom and love in their hearts gets the best results every time. That's what I'm going to talk about today. So, and boy, this place is filled with love. I mean, everything from that amazing, give her some more love, Kit. I got to hear her while she was rehearsing, and I loved it just as much then as, God, it was amazing. And to one of the most respected ministers in our entire movement, Reverend Petra, who, by the way, I caught crying over here during the music because her heart is so open. Don't you love that? And there's more music in your service than any center I've ever been to. What does that tell you? So the Buddha said, Siddhartha, there we go, Gautama, a few years ago, that non-attachment is the philosophy of my life, right? And in our teaching, I'll give you my quote too. Here's a quote from my book. The most powerful consciousness for manifestation is having clear intention and at the same time non-attachment to how, when, or even if it occurs, right? So our teaching tends to emphasize the clear intention of things, right? And we talk about non-attachment in different ways. It's all God, it's all good, right? That song was about turning it over, right? That's about surrender, non-attachment. But as human beings, we tend to be attached to results, but here's what Thich Nhat Hanh said, rest in peace. Letting go gives us freedom, and freedom is the only condition for happiness. If in our heart we still cling to anything, anger, anxiety, or possessions, we cannot be free. You can feel that, right? So, what do you think is a more productive consciousness for manifesting what we want, right? Anxiety or freedom? Rhetorical question. So here's what happens when we have attachment to things on the outside. So if I have attachments to financial things, to relationship, to what's going on in the world, if there's attachment and therefore worry, then two things are happening. One is I'm actually sending negative energy into all these things, holding them in place, right? But another thing that you can happen from this, from this frazzled guy is that all of his energy, all of his power is going outward to these things, right? So the opposite of that is when someone is centered, right? Then their energy is completely and totally available to manifest what we want. So this is what it looks like when, oh, how'd that slide get in there? Actually, that's me down at the Venice Boardwalk. This is what it looks like when we are non-attached and therefore centered in our energy, that aura, our energy is fully present. So then when we want something, it becomes very easy, right? Because if I'm doing a spiritual mind treatment and I've got attachment to that car or more money or my soulmate coming in, then again, I'm going to be worried if it doesn't happen, right? And so I'm putting negative energy into it. When I am non-attached, then I don't even have to do a really involved spiritual mind treatment. In fact, my favorite phrase that came to me as an affirmation several years ago is, wouldn't it be fun if? Wouldn't it be fun? Because you feel that sets the intention, creates an image of what we want, but there's no attachment to it, or at least relatively no attachment. And I started playing with this. I started several years ago. I was doing a tour, and I decided to play with that affirmation. And speaking from the pulpit, I said, "Wouldn't it be fun if 35 people showed up for the workshop in the afternoon?" And 3 times in a row, exactly 35 people showed up. In fact, in Calgary, as people were coming in the door, people started counting. And when it got to 35, everybody clapped, and no one else came. So I stopped saying that. I did today, but I stopped saying that because I didn't want to limit it to 35 anymore. Wouldn't it be? It's going to be magical no matter how many people show up, whether it's one or if it's everybody in the building, right? So let's see, what's coming up next here? I don't argue with reality because I'm a spiritual person, from Byron Katie. I don't argue with reality because it hurts. And I'll add, I never once win the argument, right? So, so manifestation becomes simple and effortless when we're at least relatively non-attached. Completely non-attached would be an ideal. And it's not about getting to the ideal. It's just about moving toward it, right? And it's a practice, getting better and better at it. I love this quote from Pam Grout. Oh, that reminds me. I want to tell you a story about Pam Grout. So I was teaching a class at Center for Spiritual Living, Simi Valley, and I was reading a book by Pam Grout called E Squared. Any fans? Anyone read that book? And in the book, the first experiment in the book is having an intention that something miraculous is going to happen in the next 24 hours. And it's kind of different. Usually we don't put a timeline on it. That's a little different, spin on it. Is within 24 hours, a miracle that is so big is going to happen that I will know it was a result of this intention, right? So, and the interesting thing was I didn't quite buy into the 24-hour thing because I've always been taught, you just let it go and see what happens, right? There's no time in God's time. But anyway, so it didn't happen in 24 hours because I didn't believe it. So it happened in 48 hours. I was teaching the class, and the first couple times, it was done on a donation basis, which is how I like to do things. And the first couple classes, we had right about $200 in the basket afterwards. And there were, I think, about 20 people in the class, so about $10 a person, right? So the third class, 48 hours from when I had that intention, there was over $2,000 in the basket. right? And so I had to know it came from that intention, right? But here's what I knew. I knew that if this had happened 10 years earlier, I would have been attached to that intention happening, right? And so I would have been putting negative energy into it not happening. And so I know that I would not have gotten that result. It was the combination of having the intention and also not caring. It is so fascinating to me. The less we care, the easier it is. You know, the people we're staying with, Daniel and Gloria, amazing couple. And both of them were telling me last night, they had just decided, you know, I'm perfectly fine. If I never find a mate in the rest of this life, I'm going to be perfectly fine on my own. And guess what? They found each other. And they are just, I said this last night, I think the most amazing people that we've ever stayed with, and we get put up all the time when we're traveling around. Thank you, you guys. You're just so amazing. And O.C. Smith, was that his name in the video? He said it too, that the searching is inside, not outside, right? So if I'm doing a spiritual mind treatment and I'm attaching, how many people, it's very subtle too, right? Because when people come to practitioners and they say, I really, really want to heal this condition I have, right? As a practitioner, I might even get attached to them having that result, right? But my take on the teaching, and I think I'll bet you Peter would agree with me, and I think the people who really understand this teaching, it's not about the manifestation on the outside. It's about the shift that happens inside when we pray. Because when I have the consciousness for something, and then I just let go, and the manifestation takes care of itself. I don't have to do anything, right? So this is one of my favorite quotes of all time from Pam Grout, E cubed. Once you can say, and this is an ideal, and again, we're just getting closer and closer to this, but once you can say, this is the best thing to happen to me about everything that happens in your life, you'll be aligned with the FP, field of potential. You align with the FP by loving everyone, by seeing the face of God in everything, by feeling happy, by being joyful and grateful for everything, no matter what. Instead of letting the apparent reality dictate your feelings, you line up with the FP, which knows nothing but love, peace, and perfect contentment. Being joyful and grateful for everything, no matter what. As human beings, we tend to let the world of form inform how we feel inside, right? If things are going well, we're happy. Things are great. If things aren't going well, then there's tension, there's anxiety, right? And so we're human beings on this wonderful human journey. And so it's about just practicing this, getting better and better at letting go and letting God. Just turning it over, right? I don't usually put this slide up when I'm traveling. At Simi Valley Center, my home base, I'll put this up, and everyone knows me, so they know I'm not serious about this, but this is my favorite spiritual guru, Swami Harbula Nanda. True non-attachment isn't Photoshop amazing. True non-attachment, that's actually not my body, but it kind of looks like me. True non-attachment is realizing that fundamentally we are attached, using the word in a different way, to everything. We are one. If we are attached to something outside ourselves, that's an affirmation that we are separate. We cannot be at peace and separate at the same time. Right? What has occurred to me over, it's part of what the magic of the soul is all about, is looking for the magic in every experience, seeing our lives through the eyes of our soul rather than the eyes of our personality solely, right? Solely through the soul. And so the only way to arrive at lasting inner peace is to be non-attached, like the Buddha said so many years ago. It's the only way to freedom. And the interesting thing is that the more free we are, the more power we have to create and live the life that we want to live. So let me tell you a little bit about the play. I don't want to leave that slide up there. Let's go with Byron Katie. So the play shop today, and I call it a play shop because we're not going to do work, we're going to play, is a couple things that we do. At the very beginning of the workshop, I'm going to share the most important practice that I share with people in my life coaching, my spiritual life coaching practice. And it's called pivoting. You might have heard it from the Hicks material, the Abraham Hicks material. And basically, it is a way to instantly shift from a negative mindset to a positive mindset. And there's a measurement system that I've created to actually measure our consciousness. And I have seen absolute miracles happen for people within 30 days as a result of practicing this. And you might even think, I'll explain it more in the play shop, but you might think there's a dichotomy there. Well, if we're pivoting to what we want and really focusing on that, is that non-attachment. But what I find is in this measurement system, getting above 50% focused on what we want, when we get above 50%, we no longer worry, and therefore we're less attached, if that makes sense. And then we're going to talk about, everyone's going to create a vision for their most joyful life. And we're going to tell some jokes. And then, and the thing that we emphasize the most is that doing what brings us joy consistently, and having that become the compass for our life, is the key to everything. So, if you don't have plans, come to the play shop, because you're going to really be glad you did. If you do have plans, change them. If you absolutely can't change them, sign them up on my mailing list. Next time around, then we'll give you notice. So let's see, what else did I want to say before we're done here? So anyone see the movie My Favorite Exotic Marigold Hotel? Okay, so in it, real quick synopsis, this young guy in India is marketing this big kind of castle, this property, as a retirement home for people in England. And so these people get there, and they say, you airbrush the brochure, because the place looked beautiful on the brochure, but it's all dilapidated and falling apart. So the guests are coming up to him, and they're like complaining about this is broken, that's broken. And his famous saying was this. We have a famous saying in India that everything will be all right in the end. And if it's not all right, it's not yet the end. Right? So I'll tell you a little story about my teacher, Vivian King, was mentioned in my introduction. Amazing saint of a woman, powerful woman, who taught us about non-attachment. She taught us that we are more than our body or sensations, more than our feelings, more than our mind. We are pure spirit, right? It's completely synonymous with science of mind. So after I graduated her 4-year program, I was at a New Year's Eve party, and somebody said, "Did you hear what happened to Vivian?" And I said, "No." She was hit by a drunk driver driving through Texas, by the way. And she was hospitalized in a coma for 6 weeks. Her head had swollen the size of a basketball. She became a quadriplegic and lost the use of her voice as well. It was brainstem damage. And so she had just been moved to Long Beach. I live in Southern California. And so I went to visit her that next weekend. And her head was no longer the size of a basketball, but her face was very contorted, but she still had this impish grin that she always had. And they were deciding where to move her for her rehabilitation. And it was either going to be Orange County, which was a long ways away from me, or it was going to be San Fernando Valley, which was where I live. So I said, hey, if she comes to the San Fernando Valley, then I can come and visit her a lot more. And she had friends in Orange County too. And they didn't know where I lived, but the next week she ended up 2 weeks from where I lived, two blocks from where I lived. And so I got to go and spend time with her and help with her physical therapy and do spiritual mind treatment and energy healing and all kinds of things. Might sound like I was doing a lot for her, but it was the other way around. I was getting so much for her. She was such an inspiration to all of her caretakers because she didn't think she was sick. She had a mechanical arm, for an example, that would feed her, right? Because she didn't want to be dependent on other people. And she would be feeding herself and getting food all over her face and all over her apron. And as I say that, you might think, wow, if that was me, that would be difficult. I might be embarrassed. She'd be smiling or laughing the entire time because she saw it as a cosmic joke. She knew she was more than her body and her feelings and her mind. She knew who she was, right? So she decided to leave the planet a couple of years later. But about a year before she did, she said to me, she could speak in whispers and she had an amplifier and you couldn't understand her unless you talked with her a lot. But she said, I am a teacher who can no longer speak. I'm a writer who can no longer write, wrote several amazing books. She said, but as long as I have a physical body, I can remain a presence of peace and love and joy in this world. So there are times when I have challenges in my life. We all have challenges in our life, right? And I think of Vivian and think, wow, if she could be remaining a presence of peace and joy and love in that condition, I can get through this cold or COVID or whatever the heck it is, right? Or my sore knee that I'm having surgery on in a few weeks, whatever it might be. But the most important thing I want to leave you with is love. It's right here. The word love has been spoken or sung at least 50 times already this morning. That's what this center is about, I'm getting. And so even when I can't be non-attached because something's really hard in my life, just love myself right where I am, right? And that will lead me ultimately to non-attachment. Because when I fill up with love, it just overflows and it changes everything, right? So in the most important expression of self-love, of love then, is self-love. This phrasing came to me. I was talking to a client a couple years ago, and we were talking about self-love. And this is the phrasing that came to me, is that when I love myself unconditionally, what I realize is that I am not myself. I am in fact the self. I am in fact pure love. And so are you, and I love you. Thank you for having me. And I love you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Patrick, please do come to the workshop. And after the lovely lunch, it is a donation workshop, and Deirdre's going to come up here, and she's going to magically share all of the other announcements.
Whoa, ho, ho, it's magic. Yes, well, that's Deirdre right there. This is me? No, that's not me.
That's not you.
That's not me. I have it written right here because Joe Tinker takes care of such things.
This right here. Start
Thank you.
There we go.
Okay, so we've asked our greeters to come forward, which they knew to do without being asked. Thank you very much. And we're going to invite you to generously give to the work of CSL Dallas, because knowing that as you give, the law of circulation is multiplying, and that the gift to you is for you and for so many others. So we begin by affirming our abundance affirmation. I accept abundant, good flowing freely and share it easily. CSL Dallas receives and shares this divine influx of good. We are loving and generous to all. So it is. And there are many ways to give. So you could give through text giving, Venmo, PayPal, auto tithing, and we can always pass the basket. Hallelujah, amen. And you just pick which option works for you. Our CSL Dallas community is so excited to be one of the host locations for this week's Vista Convention. And you are invited to attend this free general session on Thursday, that's this Thursday the 23rd, to help make our center come to life. And the magic is here, and for our out-of-town guests. Well, we're going to make magic. This opportunity is an in-person only, and it's from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. So let's cheer on and empower our Vista team leaders, the ministers, practitioners, the CSL house band featuring Candy Williams, our very own Candy. Yeah, okay, that's a song that we have. But and our homegrown and tithed away Lady Bernstein, who's going to come back, and they're going to lead the general, as all these people lead the general session. So you're also invited to Thursday evening's exclusive in-person experience with Reverend Cynthia James, who's a beloved CSL minister and international speaker, based on her new album, Chosen, and her latest book, Does My Voice Matter? And I'm standing up here to tell you that it does. So thank you for that. Reverend Cynthia will lead us through a journey of self-discovery accompanied by mesmerizing music. The link to buy tickets is being posted in the chat, or you can see Lauren. I don't know if Lauren's in here, but she has short hair and she's beautiful. She looks like an Arte sculpture. And you can purchase them here on our campus. So we also have a special treat for you next week, all the way from CSL Las Vegas. And they say what happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas. However, we're going to have Reverend Marquita Pierre McAllister sharing her words and songs with us as next Sunday's guest. She'll go ahead.
So Marquita and I are going to be sharing the platform for the talk.
Oh, okay. All right.
And then she's going to share some music.
Okay. Oh, lovely. Well, okay, yes. I'm not going anywhere with this Las Vegas thing anymore, okay? Once a year, our whole community comes together to listen and learn about all things CSL Dallas. So gather with us after the Sunday celebration next week for our annual member meeting, which includes a community potluck in Pankey Hall. Spend the afternoon catching up on the state of CSL Dallas, followed by our Sacred Service Awards, and closing with raffles and a prize. And you can bring a dish to share. This is also online and in person, so you can attend the annual member meeting in a multitude of ways. Your presence is always welcome, and the presence is the presence. Okay, speaking of members, maybe you're new to CSL Dallas and have not taken our new member orientation. Coming up Saturday, March 4th, this orientation is your chance to declare that you have found your tribe, you are ready to engage, and that you are home. So benefits of becoming a member include being able to serve in leadership capacity, being able to vote, and being invited to special events in the life of our community. This too is, it's in person and online. I have a little note here.
Before you could do that.
Yes?
So just a reminder that we have a baked potato lunch right now for supporting Joy Village, and then Reverend Dr. Patrick Harbula, and his workshop is on a love offering donation. So please do stay for that.
And practitioners are standing by to pray with you. You can go across the hall in Pankey Hall. It's the Peace Room. And for those of you online, there's a Zoom link that's posted. And now let's stand up and sing with our music team. Hallelujah, amen.